Oh, yeah, we're live. Welcome to Doug in Exile. For all of you that have helped me get here to 100,000 subs, we're going to do an unboxing of my YouTube button that just came in the mail today. I've never seen one up close before, so now I get to see one for real, just like grown up, just like real YouTubers. I'll talk a little bit about this. I will tell you guys there's some other things that I do. I make comic books. I'm going to show you about my hardbound comic books later. But there's a link in the description to the Shopify store if you want to order them. They're amazing. Just trust me. So we're going to get into this real quick. And come on into the chat, guys. Let me know you're there. You can do super chats too. There's a little $ next to a bill, but eventually I'm going to set up PayPal donations and all that too. It's not about the money. I'm getting paid plenty. Don't worry. Everyone's saying congratulations. Thank you for coming in. You guys are all my people. This is my first live for the channel. I wanted to celebrate with you guys because all of you who subscribed are why this happened. And I can't thank you enough. Your subscription means a lot to me. All of us YouTubers, I know that some people say, subs don't matter. It's just views. But subs are like joining the club and really giving support. So thank you all for subscribing. We're going to get this thing open. And I'm just really curious. This is the box. It came UPS when I first applied for it. YouTube sent me an email saying a UPS package is going to come this week. And I just didn't believe it. I keep thinking the channel's going to get whacked, if you know what I mean. But we're back. And before I get too far, there's a lot of other YouTubers that don't have 100,000 subs. I want all of us to get buttons. Neil Johnson is out there, Lumberjack Logic. My buddy Out of the Darkness got whacked, so hopefully he'll be back up in about a year. But basically, they knock you out for a year, then they give you your channel back completely wiped. Hillary Hill is out there. Finance Zone, my buddy Dylan's out there. Be Hizzy is back with a brand new channel called Chocolate Superman. He's got to get to 100,000. Sweet Home Maricopa doesn't have 100,000 yet. So I just want to share my subs, get them all out there to all of our people just goofing around with politics. There's Brausch Beshem Yeshua. Let's get you on my show on Rumble for an interview. Ooh, I'd like that. I'd really like that. I'm trying to put you, I hope you guys can see, I don't know if they can see they can see you in the chat, but I don't think they can see you on screen. So thank you for the $1.99 super chat. And with the super chat, automatically you get your question asked. By the way, guys, don't ever leave dangerous comments. It does hurt the show. It's how a lot of liberals do hurt shows, is don't publicly question election results, talk about COVID. You guys know about all that. So part of us being on the same team is using, I don't know how you guys want to couch the words or whatever, but just play ball with me and help a guy out. Because I think we can get all the way back up to my original sub count of 450,000 subscribers right here in Exile. A lot of the big channel philosophy that I'm about is the positive case forward for conservatives. There's a $20 super chat. Thank you from First Sergeant Richard. Congrats, Doug. My son just got his plaque last week himself. Looking forward to your 1 million subscriber plaque. Get a drink on me, brother. Thank you so much. I will. But a big philosophy is to be positive online. There's a $5 super chat from Rick Wilmoth. Thank you. He sends me a talking boom box with a broken arm and a frowny face. Not a boom box. It's a Nintendo controller. We'll get right to this. Where did I put my my cutter at? Thought I had a cutter up here somewhere. Oh, well. Oh, there it is. Okay. We have a razor blade. Without further ado, anytime, I'm going to give you guys some etiquette too that helps the channel out a lot. When you watch a video, always try and watch it to the end. It really helps out a lot. That drives engagement up. If you click on a video, try not to click out till the very, very end. It helps all our numbers go up. That's just YouTube etiquette. So, and always leave a comment. Just say hi. Always give us a thumbs up. That's how you pay us. It actually does drive up dough on the channel. So let's get this back tape here. And then, of course, I also have to thank YouTube. I know that sometimes we see them as Big Brother, the Death Star, but they did allow me back on the platform. I'm monetized. They're pushing my videos out to get them out to people. So that is a huge hats off to them. This is, to me, growing up as a cartoonist, I always wanted to make animated cartoons. For someone to give me a worldwide TV network that's free is beyond amazing. So I obviously have some disagreements with them on what videos they choose to demonetize, what subjects they choose to tamp down. But overall, we get to play in a pretty big playground. So I'm not going to, just complain about what I don't get to do. I'm going to celebrate what I do get to do. So this is about a celebration of the good. Kimberly, $5 super chat. You rescued me from the hopium dealers. Yeah. One way that makes my product different than a lot of other channels is I'm very much anti conspiracy, anti just hopium. You'll see me I'm very excited about topics legitimately, but I'll also bring in some dark pills, some black pills to bring some reality in. I'm a big Trump supporter, but if it's not Trump and it's DeSantis, I'm way on board. I'm a big Carrie Lake fan, but I'm not here to just go, I'm here just to bury a needle for one candidate or one thing, and that's all I am. You guys know that I spread it out pretty thin. I try and cover a lot of different topics, but I definitely respect my Trump fans and Carrie Lake fans in my audience. I want to give you guys the best case I can for the people that you're excited about. And sometimes there's not a good case to make. Sometimes it's just like, hey guys, we're losing on this one. But overall, I try to be pretty sober and reasonable. Okay. Here's Mark Santos, $5 super chat. Love the short format. I do want to do longer videos, but I just think in general, if I can get you guys to click on a piece of news, it shouldn't take longer than 1.5 to 2.5 minutes to communicate anything. It's like, this is what DeSantis did in Florida. And I should be able to tell you, he did this, he did this. This is why it's funny. This is why it's interesting. And then I'm out. So the idea is you should always feel like I'm staying a little bit ahead of you on each video. Now you guys are learning the overall philosophy of how I run this channel. And I'll give you a lot of this. But first, I'm going to give you a little commercial. There's a Shopify link in the description. I am one of the few conservative Christians who ever made it in Hollywood in animated cartoons, graphic novel, comic books, and video games. And now I'm on YouTube. So these are the comics that I make. These are large, hardbound, gold gilded edges, really beautiful, top quality printing job. I do all of the writing. I do all of the art, and I created every character. So these are kind of family sci-fi. They're made for teens and up. These are definitely things that an adult can buy. These are about $35 per. So I'm not making a lot of money. I'm just moving inventory. I want to share what I do with you guys. This is Bigfoot Bill book 1. This is Bigfoot Bill book 2. See the beautiful shiny gloss I put on them? This is my other art job that I do. This is Earthworm Jim 1. This is probably the character I'm most famous for creating in the 90s. It was a video game character, but we have some really nice embossing. Again, beautiful art. They're about 150 pages each. Here's a big, beautiful Earthworm Jim 2 with a back cover by Mike Mignola, who did Hellboy. And this is like one of my pride and joys. If you want to learn some biography about me, this is the making of Earthworm Jim. And it goes into how our original team made Earthworm Jim back at Shiny. You can click the Shopify link, goes to the Doug TeNapel library in the description of every video. You click on it, we send you the highest quality book, white glove shipping. Sometimes we'll throw little prints in and little pieces of art just for fun. That's my commercial. See? Other channels are selling birch gold, and other channels are selling, prepper, emergency food supplies. I'm pushing my own books and my own products I make. Let's do this. Here goes. Let's crack this thing open. I can tell I make my own packaging too. So you'll get my own cardboard boxes that we print on. So I always check out the packaging. This is a folded box with a pad all around it. That is the cardboard. There's an airspace there to help protect the goods. And this is a foam cover on the whole thing. And then here's the YouTube statement. We're going to read this together. Some 100,000 subscribers. Just how far have you come? If each of your subscribers were a light year, they could take you from one side of the Milky Way to the other. That's far. And it's why today we're so excited to celebrate your special YouTube journey with you. Not only have you brought a unique voice and style to the world, true, you've also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. In that spirit, YouTube is proud to present you with the Silver Creator Award, which celebrates your hard work and incredible achievement. Congrats on this amazing milestone, just one of many that we hope will follow in the future. After all, there are countless others out there who have yet to discover your passion and dedication. Whether they come to your channel to learn something new or just to laugh, a whole new audience is waiting for you to inspire them. Just as your growing community continues to inspire you, we can't wait to see what you do next, and we'll be with you every step of the way. Sincerely, Susan Wojcicki, the president of YouTube, CEO of YouTube. P.S. Your channel has been permanently banned. Oh, wait, okay, I made that part. So look, Susan, she signed it. Thank you, Susan. She's buddies with Ben Shapiro, I hear. Okay, and here's the goods. Look, it has one of these little powdered dry smelling salts thing. You're not supposed to eat those, I found out. And then here's recognize your team. Share the recognition by allowing your team to purchase a personalized creator award. This is an additional, I have no team other than you guys. There's a $1.79 Thoughts on Fitness with Nigel. Come on, Doug. Let's see you on FNT. It's time, mate. Okay. Let's get to, I'm going to tell you all about this plaque. It's in plastic goody. We'll get it out here. I don't know if I'm going to hang this on the air or not. I might put it on that wall there, I guess. But it has these little hanging nail holes, solid construction, very well made. This is not flimsy at all. I got to put some holes in and nail it on there. And this is a metal, it's almost like a MacBook is what it's made of. And look, there's a mirror. Cool mirror. If I reflect this on my computer down below, and you can see all the little Post-it notes, you'll see all my passwords written on. So I don't want to do that too much. But this says, presented to Doug Tenaple for passing 100,000 subscribers, YouTube. Very beautiful. Thank you, YouTube. But most of all, thanks to all of you who are my subscribers. This is just amazing to me. So I'm really happy with that. As you guys know, before my channel had 400,000, my other channel. If you look up Doug Tenaple on YouTube, you'll see my art channel. It needs subscribers really bad. You'll see all of my art. I do crayon work. I do watercolors. I'm going to post a 1 hour, excuse me, a 1 hour painting session, watercolor session that I did with my 21-year-old daughter, Ami. I interview her a little bit so you can get to know my family. That's going to be over on that art channel. It's going to be like a 45-minute, 1 hour show. I need you guys to watch that whole show. A couple thousand of you to get my watch hours up on the art channel. I'm just not as good at shaking the audience down on art as I am on politics. That's all. Let's get to some of you guys in the chat. Congrats, just lots of congrats. Very fancy. Thank you all. Doug is probably about 10 more plaques like that, one for each channel. He got banned. Yeah, my first channel got 450,000 subscribers. I never got my button. So this has been, I've been working on this now for just over 2 years. took me to get this, even though I technically earned my first 100,000 in a couple months. I've actually been on YouTube for 10 years, but I didn't really pump any of those channels before. So that's this right here. I don't even know if I can put this up. Can you see that? No. Let me try I'm going to try to put this thumbtack in the wall, in my nice studio wall here. And we'll just hang it up like so. Look at that! Woo-hoo! So I'm very excited about it. We can talk some news too. We'll go over some news live. If you guys if the super chats keep coming, and eventually we'll do some kind of PayPal payment or something, but as long as it's positive, and before I would do live streams and I'd always get a channel strike on my live streams. So I don't do guests or anything like that, with apologies, because you just don't know what you're going to say live. Okay. So I love my YouTube 100,000 subscriber plaque. I think the next one's at 1 million. So yeah, it's crooked. It has to be crooked. I just think that's pretty cool. So big picture, do you still drink peanut butter beer? I do not. This is a Guinness. The beloved Miss Tenaple made me lunch and made me a Guinness. I do some peanut butter beer, but I'm not big on it. The flavored stuff is kind of tough. I'm also working on an animated channel with these little animated cat and dog with some friends. Those of you who know Nurkish, he's a good friend of mine, and we're working on some cool cartoons that are they're not political or anything, but they're just funny and weird. I'm doing funny, weird stuff because I'm still an artist. I still got to express myself on here, you know? Hey, Doug, present, just here to listen, says Rick Licano. Well, I hope you guys are all subbed. Have we gotten that out of the way yet? That everyone keeps saying, please sub, because basically, if everyone subbed to this channel who watched a video, I'd have about 10 million subs by now. So that would be huge. And that is damaging to the other side. It absolutely pushes the channel out. Subs help push the channel out. Here, oh, look, here's Caleb Ciacelli, $9.99. There goes Doug in bed with big tech. Oh, yeah. My warning about big tech is I just think they're everywhere. You know, they have that because of what they buy and sell your information to each other. Even Facebook is the biggest one because we all got on Facebook. And Facebook got us all to tag ourselves in pictures and then tag our friends and put their names in it. So that tied everyone's face to text, which made it easier for big tech to find out who everyone was and where everyone is. So anytime you use your credit card, anytime you use Amazon, anytime you buy anything online, anytime you navigate on Google to find a map and find out where anything is, anytime you put in any information, they have it all. It's too late. You're not going to escape it. Okay. Face recognition alone, I'm not saying they're employing it or using it. I'm saying they have it and it's done. That side of it is done. All the pieces are in place. So the only other thing that you can do, and my only thing I'll say is, because I want you to guys, I did a lot of posts on the Twitter files, which is Twitter revealing, because Elon Musk bought the company, he was able to go through all their personal messages and personal emails to each other to be able to extract all of the times they talked to government or to campaigns and things like that, and just kind of reveal just how much was back and forth was going. I don't think the information is that bad. It's bad, but it's not as bad as it could have been. There's lots of times where YouTube pushed back to the FBI and said, we're not doing that, or to Adam Schiff and said, I just finished an Adam Schiff video. I think it goes up tomorrow. And so I'll tell you guys a little bit about the channel too, about how I do things and all of the workings behind the channel. I want to show you guys, it'll make sense why we do the things we do. For instance, I'll do a video and the title will be Get Caught Up on Trump News. And I'll have a thumbnail and I'll have a video recorded. And that video will get demonetized. So that means it will make about 1/4 of what it would normally make. So all I do is I go in and I change just the title from Get Caught Up on Trump News. I remove Trump's name and I put in, you won't believe what he said. Instant monetized. So I didn't have to change the video or the thumbnail. In case all of you are wondering why we sound like idiots in our titles of shocking this and this was broadcast everywhere, I would never pick those titles, but those are the titles that are the safest for monetization. And that's why, just so you guys know, none of us would do that if it wasn't a safe sanctuary in general for political videos. Now it makes sense, right? Here's Godwin's 777, $10. Doug, worked with you when I worked with his network. Love to Michael and you both, and love your work. Congrats on the 100K on BoobTube. Keep up the great work and be blessed. Lisa H. So Lisa is, I believe, is one of the Sweet Home Maricopa people who work for him. Michael's a good buddy of mine at Sweet Home Maricopa. You guys should all go sub to him. He's on This Way Network, but at Sweet Home Maricopa is his main YouTube channel. And we've known each other just for years. And we actually have deeper ties with a mutual Hollywood writer friend that goes back like 20 years. So we're all in the same boat, and that's what I'm all about. So now you guys know about why we title things like an idiot. Jovan Hutton, pull my finger for 99 cents. Now that's funny. I don't mind when people make fun of my side if they're not just dumb about it. Like if you're smart, I'll go, you know what? Like you guys see me laugh at Whoopi Goldberg all the time. I know she's totally not on my side at all. But if she does something funny, I laugh at her. I find her funny. So just because because I'm laughing, or in fact, people who not have my politics, I would welcome to watch the channel. Even if you're just ripping on the channel, I don't mind haters. Doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. So I've been in Hollywood. So I've worked, just to give you guys some updates on who I am. Many people just know me as the politics guy, but I've worked as an artist for most of my life. For 30 years, I did video games. I did graphic novels. Those are long form comic books. I have over 20 titles under my name. They're in schools everywhere. Scholastic published me. Image Comics published me. I've gotten the highest award in that category, called the Eisner Award. I was also a showrunner on VeggieTales. That is, when Netflix and DreamWorks, they had us redo the show, I was in charge of that whole production. That's what moved me out here to Tennessee from LA. So, and on that show, for the first time in VeggieTales history, I got us a Daytime Emmy Award. So our work is huge on that. The audience didn't like it, and that's just the way it goes, you know. But I'm a conservative, Bible-believing Christian, but I have friends in every kind of denomination known to man. I have close friends that are Jewish and atheist and gay and libertarian and QAnon psychos, and just I have all kinds of those friends. So I really enjoy listening to lots of people, different people, and I tend to hang out with just old men. Like at the YMCA, I work out and I hang out with 70 and 80-year-olds. They call me the young man. They call me youngster. So that's my main social group. I do have friends over for cigars every once in a while, people from my church. I lecture on G.K. Chesterton. I just want you to know that I read pretty broadly. I'm reading from the Old Testament right now. I'm doing 4 chapters a day. I just finished 2 Samuel. So I'm in 1 Kings now, but I read about 4 chapters a day. There's Jay Lewis. I'm 70, Doug. My people. You're like my older brother, Jay. So I'm reading the Bible. I'm trying to read through the Bible. It's going to take about 1.5 years if I do 4 chapters a day. I've already done the whole New Testament, and I've done Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, and I'm on 1 Kings. I can't wait to get to Job is my favorite, and Ecclesiastes is my other favorite, but I already read that one. So it'll take me, I'll get there by the end of the year. We'll be done. And then my daughter got me a C.S. Lewis devotion that I read every day, a little paragraph from that. I got a early church history book that was written about the first century church that I'm reading through, that was written in 1925. My son, John, got it for me for Christmas. So I read a little bit of that every day. It's like a 500-page thick, gnarly church history book from a historian's point of view. And then I read my other book that I got. My son, Ed, got me a Louis L'Amour little paper novel that I read 2 pages a day out of. And then I just got a new one called, it was like Christianity and Liberalism. That's another one from the 1920s that was published. So I read broadly, comic books, theology, big stuff, but mostly I like the bread and butter patriot Americans. You guys, my normal people, is who my audience is. I'm here on this channel to talk to the MAGA people, the conservatives. I'm even here to appeal and talk to rhinos about strategy. I'm a hardcore Republican in general. I'm super troubled with my party for a number of reasons. But the big 2 issues, you guys know what my big two issues is. They involve marriage and life. And that's what troubles me the most. So the thing that makes me want to burn up my Republican card is how they've bailed on those 2 issues. Now, all the good news against those issues, as far as our side goes, they're all Republicans. They just so happen to be all Republicans, including rhinos. So I'll never fully throw a rhino under the bus. I'll half throw him under the bus, or 90% throw a Romney under the bus. He's 90% under the bus. But even then, if they're to the right of anyone else on that issue, then I'll dance a little bit with McConnell just for like Supreme Court picks, just so you guys know. Now, I know how this audience works. I'm going to tell you guys something about virtue signaling. Virtue signaling is when you have to show who you're loyal to on your tribe in public. So if I say Mike Pence, he's an okay guy, then there's people in the audience that have to virtue signal and say, I unsubscribe. I can't support your channel. And I get it too, because if any Republican said, Doug, I'm against traditional marriage, I go, then I'm gonna have a real hard time ever supporting you or promoting your campaign, even if you're Trump, even if you're someone on my side. So I get the kind of trigger response thing on all of these issues. And in a way, if I was going to look at the demographic of my audience, there's a huge like Venn diagram, as Kamala Harris says. There's Venn diagram, and there's these circles, and some of the circles overlap, as Kamala Harris says. Kamala Harris is the dumbest person in politics. She's dumber than Biden, and Biden's barely conscious. I just want to let you guys know that. So that's my channel. Now you guys know kind of how the sausage is made. I do have a locals channel, Doug in Exile, or Doug TenNapel in Exile over on locals is still there. Many of you support me there. That's what has supported me when YouTube went down. They were there to kind of carry me. I have a Rumble channel, but literally no one looks at my Doug TenNapel in Exile Rumble channel. Literally, Doug in Exile. No one goes to Rumble. I'm going to tell you guys an inside scoop on Rumble. I have friends that make money on Rumble, but they all have to get it through side partnerships with Rumble, because their algorithm does not try to connect content with viewers, and YouTube does. They're a great platform for, as far as the technology goes. YouTube's got a 10-year head start on anyone. And that's why I'd rather appeal to Susan Wojcicki. I'd rather appeal to her, or even try to convert her to Christ, than go try to buy a platform. What's the better chance? She'd probably convert to Christ before anyone would ever create a new platform. I need a Doug in Exile sticker next to my Salty Cracker sticker on my tailgate. Oh yeah, I love Salty Cracker. And he's another one who I've talked to a lot offline. So Salty Cracker, Nick Ricade is another one. I'm good buddies with these guys. I've had very good interaction with Jeremy at, I'm sorry, Geeks and Gamers. I'm good friends with Quarter Black Garrett. He used to work for Stephen Crowder. I've been on the Stephen Crowder show. I met Ben Shapiro 20 years ago. I know these guys really well. All my buddies work for um, Ben Shapiro right now. My buddies that used to work for the Babylon Bee are now working for Shapiro. I know all the Babylon Bee guys really well. So everyone on the conservative side, we're all friends and we're all in the same bed. And big picture is we may have little disagreements, but overall we're all on the same team. That is true. And that's my statement on the Stephen Crowder Daily Wire thing is this is inside fighting and it happens. And I think it's kind of normal these days. Owen Kellogg, $2 super chat. Thank you, Owen. Do aborted babies go up to heaven? Yes. That's my belief. You know, I don't, on the salvation issue, I never know who exactly is in or out. I can only read the Bible on who it says is in or out. And so I don't like throwing judgments around on salvation. Like I'll call out any Christian that is pro-liberal. You know, Phil Vischer, the creator of VeggieTales, I'll hit him hard. Sometimes John Piper and even the guy that wrote Live Not by Lies, Dreher, has said like they were happy that Dreher said he was happy that Biden won because they finally have a normal president. That was the day after the election. And I just go, how normal is he now? And who's living by a lie? But otherwise, I love Rod Dreher. Here's Pottery in Central Washington, $5 super chat. You would love to read about the Desert Fathers. In the Orthodox faith, the book of John is everything. Ooh, I like the book of John. Some of my favorite verses are in there. And I lecture to the Orthodox guys. They just had me in. There's a small Orthodox group here in Tennessee, in Franklin. And they have a men's group where they bring in lecturers to come in. And I was a guest lecturer. They've been asking me to come for 2 years. I finally got to make it. Now I'm a yearly guest. So every month I will be doing a lecture. Every year I'll be doing a lecture for them. And this year I lectured on G.K. Chesterton and tore the house down. But it was probably about 40 or 50 people that there. And my kids have had Orthodox guys as their principals of their school when they were younger. What about Tim Keller? There's Jestero of, okay. I love Tim Keller. My wife listens to his podcast most days, but he's another one who he is a liberal, but he's brilliant. So there. I think the big thing that people don't get, and this is true for Trump having a mouth on him or me having a mouth on me, is it's very easy to go after Trump because his sins are so public. Like I've flat out seen him lie. And I'm just going, well, that's a lie. But then you have this thinking of anyone who says something negative about Trump is undermining our movement or our cause. That's not true. Now, I was that way back in the Iraq war. If anyone criticized Bush, like didn't like the Patriot Act, I'd go, you're undermining our troops in battle. And so I get where people come from on that, on not criticizing our guys. But at the same time, this is like kind of an internal discussion among us where I'm going, is Trump going to beat DeSantis? And even if Trump gets the election, will he win the election? That's all I care about. And I just kind of go, look, Trump's not my buddy. He doesn't come over here and have cigars with me. He doesn't even smoke. So I just kind of go, it's like I'm on board with him because of his Supreme Court picks. But look, the guy brought in the jab. You know what I mean? The guy raised spending as much as any Democrat did under his watch. So there's lots of places where he's not a conservative, he's a populist. And that's what you get with populists. Now, the thing that populists do great, which is Trump, is they're steamrollers. They just go like, break the structures down. He's great at that. That's why he's likened to chemotherapy. If you have cancer, cancer is going to kill you, but then you take chemotherapy, and chemotherapy kills the cancer. but it almost kills the host. But it is the thing that you use to kill cancer. So that's kind of my defense of Trump is there are bigger evils in the world than Trump lying or raising the debt. And you know my two big evils that are public right now and getting embraced by the Republican Party. So, and Trump has recently shown weakness on those two issues. So I'm just kind of going, is this a Republican wide thing? Are we just going to concede this ground as a party? Because if the party goes that way, then I'm kind of like, well, now what am I doing here? I'm not, what good is it if you're sacrificing to Moloch, but you have a strong border? Everyone happy? So that's my kind of big picture view. I am rooting for Trump like crazy when he picked McCarthy. I'm just going like, I get how our side hates McCarthy, but incredible good is being done through McCarthy. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene supports him. And they're doing great things. It doesn't make McCarthy a brilliant conservative or anything, but he's incredibly effective in that job right now. Right now, the only win we have is in the House. And the House, of all the branches of government, the House and the Supreme Court are killing it for the most part. They're doing pretty good for how terrible things are. They're doing pretty good. Take the win, guys. And Trump going after DeSantis in Florida, the Florida good news ought to give everyone hope because Florida is incredible. I don't care how much Trump rips on DeSantis. Trump lives in his state. He voted with his feet. I'm just telling you, DeSantis is a killer. He's awesome. And then everyone goes like, oh no, he's compromised and this person once gave to his campaign. Fine, we'll get there. Better or worse than Biden? That's what all of us are going to be saying at 2024. I don't care who the Republican I don't care if it's Pence. Better or worse than, but they're going to go, well, if it's Pence, it might as well be Biden. No, it's not might as well be Biden or Kamala or Gavin Newsom. That's my strategy is I think they're bringing in Gavin Newsom. I don't know if you guys have heard me say that before, but I think there's a division there's a fight going on right now in the Democrat Party about 50-50 split, where half think they can keep Biden and just keep going, look, we're going to ride on social media and we're going to cover for this guy and we're going to drag him over the finish line again. There's another half of the Democrat Party going, we can't risk it. We have to get him out because he is not going to make it, if you know what I mean. He's going to die. So at the same time, they have Kamala Harris, a black woman this close to the presidency. They go, look, we can't pass her up without checking that box off. So I think they're going to impeach or have Biden step down. And I think they went to him and said, Biden, time for you to step down. He goes, no, I'm great. I'm Biden. I think I'm going to run. And they're going, he's too far gone. We're going to have to impeach him. We're going to go like, look, Biden, easy way or hard way? Easy way is you step down and say, I'm too old and hand it over to Kamala. Hard way is we impeach you and we release all the documents. That's what I think is happening in his party right now. There's an internal, private split in the Democrat Party. And I think that's why his documents came to the public by the FBI and by his own people. And then I think the goal is to get Kamala to agree to be president if she agrees to not run in 24. So she doesn't run in 24. She gets her big fat seat at Yale or Harvard or a big tech company on a board. I'm predicting it now. And then they run Gavin Newsom, who is like the reptilian, just like reptile central casting. Gavin Newsom is what I think they're going to do. Here's Decky 69. What about Jimmy Dore or Tim Pool? I'm not a big fan of either of those guys. I mean, I really like Jimmy Dore's show. I think he's really just a hardcore barn burner. And Tim Pool just sits on the fence. You know, he's a libertarian, doesn't know what he believes. He's kind of doing the Joe Rogan model of, I don't know anything. I'm just asking questions. So I'm cool with that. That's just not stuff that I'm super into. I'm into the super crunchy thinkers out there. Victor Davis Hanson, Thomas Sowell, I really like a lot. I like Doug Wilson a lot. I like I do listen to Commentary Magazine, John Podhoretz. It's not that I like hearing from the Never Trumpers to hear what they're thinking, and the National Review, Rich Lowry, um, Charlie Cook. I listen to them a lot, and then the hardcore conservative guys, But Victor Davis Hanson ain't no one better. Here's CC with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you for the chat. So now you guys are getting the inner workings of the channel. I do want to try. I'm always trying to get the quality up. That's what I don't know how to do. Okay. If there's one thing I'm working on, it's how do I get the quality of the writing and the intel up and still do 3 videos a day? Because it's almost all research. It only takes a couple minutes to actually record the thing. Takes maybe an hour to edit it all down, because you see me just chop, because I can't say a sentence longer than 5 words without chopping into my own sentence. So I'm always trying to pull the gaps out. So it's just like information. I'm always trying to build that quality up, because I just think you guys always deserve better entertainment, clearer ideas. And so I'll kind of cover the safe stuff, which for me, the safe stuff is like the famous people. You all know about Boebert, and you know about Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know about Carrie Lake, and you know about Trump, and you know about Pence and DeSantis, and kind of the big Jim Jordan and Ron Paul. But you may not know about, this bill that just went through in, Missouri, that I think is politically significant. Those are always a big risk, because often they get low views. And so you got to keep the views up on your channel, because I believe our channels all have a reputation at YouTube, where they go, this channel has a high reputation, so we throw a lot of higher premium ads to them. This channel has a lower status, so we give them the junk ads. They still get ads, but they're just going to be kind of more bottom feeder ads. And you guys will see thousands of channels out. I study thousands of channels. I just look at other channels all the time, all day. Here's Godwin, $777, $5 super chat. Thank you. What do you think about Santos and claiming to be a gay Democrat, et cetera, and then actually being a Republican? I think it was brilliant, LMAO. I just dismiss Santos as just another politician who did and said what he needed to do to get in office. Not our strongest suit. I think he's kind of being discredited, but whipping boy of the day, you'll just see media go, well, he's an easy kill, so let's get him. Get him. But we need a seat. We need a seat. And that's a compromise to say that. It's like, it's pragmatism is always saying, like, do you want purity? Because then you have to give up his seat. And then they run someone against him, and it could go to a Democrat. And now you just compromised your majority because you tried to be pure with Santos. And I'm sorry to say it, but if we're all going to go in there with God's perfection and start judging liars, 75% of all politicians would vanish. So that's kind of in defense of corruption. And that's a terrible position to have. So there you go. That's kind of the problem that we have with pragmatism. Here's Decky 69, $2 super chat. Love the short vids, quick and to the point, no fluff. Yeah, you never want to pad out a video, because people start clicking out, man. They're bored, they're out. So I'll always try and edit them tight, so we get on to the next boom, boom, boom piece of information. Here's Trinoculus P, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Been enjoying your Carrie Lake coverage. Yeah, I try to find any new news of mostly I'm trying to read what direction is she going, because I go to her Twitter to find out what's in her head. I go to YouTube to find out what they're broadcasting to everyone. But Twitter really is more when they're really upset and angry one night, or they really want to cover some detail to open up their brand or change their brand in a direction. They put that stuff out on Twitter, and Twitter's instant. You just see it like that. So I'm always covering Twitter for you guys on Carrie Lake War Room, Aid Hamada, Steve Bannon, all those guys. Walt Parrish, $9 super chat. If someone asked to commission a 3-inch by 3-inch drawing from you for the Post-it sized comic art collection, would that be a possibility? Walt, I can't really do commissions these days. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. If I ever did one, I would open up a chunk of a month where I'd say anyone can buy a 3x3, and you can't afford me anyways. I'm really expensive. My art, just the less available I am, the higher priced my art goes. So these days, because of what YouTube is paying, which is a lot, um, it means I literally can't spend the time on that stuff. So commissions are tough, but I do oil port. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my art, but I do oil portraits of people. I do want to do an oil painting one of these days on my art channel of someone great like Victor Davis Hanson or something, but it just won't get the views. I'll spend 2 hours on an oil portrait and it'll get like 150 views. Or I can just sit here and come on this channel and say, "Hey guys, let's talk about the news," and it'll get 150,000 views. So it's kind of, where do you want the most impact? I want to do the least amount of editing time and news time for the most amount of views is what I'm trying to do. That's message effectiveness. Get that message out as far as you can. And YouTube is helping me grow this channel. So I'm only saying slow growth every month. I'm still gaining subs. I got to remind you again, if you haven't subbed to the channel, please subscribe and join the club. It really helps the channel out. So on that note, let's wrap this up on a positive note on what's great about the ride. The greatest news this year is Twitter, because $2 super chat talks news while painting, says Decky69. Yeah, my art channel hates politics. So if I go over there, then I drain all those people out. If I do art on this channel, all the politics people will go, "What about Gary Lake?" Twitter's the good news of the year, because what did we find out on Twitter? We found out that the state was working with them to tamp down free speech. And all I want to know is, how effective was it? Did they win the argument? Did they long-term win? Godwin777, $5 super chat. What are your other channels? It's Doug TeNapel is my art channel. So if you go there, you'll see a bunch of paintings and me drawing with crayons, little 1 minute, 2 minute shorts. That's all I have right now. I've got other stuff coming. So it's coming, but I have to take care of this channel, number one. What we learned on Twitter is, as people were being shadow banned, they knew they were. So they talked about it. They said, "I'm being shadow banned." And I knew I was too. I was getting massively, just for years, not getting subs and getting views. And then when Elon Musk buys the company, people are going, "Hey, I can see your tweets again." So did they fool anyone? Is big tech as a brand gaining credibility or losing credibility? They have lost credibility because of what they do. That is, you can do it in secret, but they have the same problem as all of us. It's like, I'm afraid of doing things in secret because it might get exposed by big tech. Well, big tech is doing things in secret, and it's just getting exposed, and everyone is getting more savvy to a point that, I'll tell you, if they did a 100% lockdown of free speech and completely tried to control everyone from the top down, it would only create millions more patriots against them. So they can't do it. It does not work in America. And if you look back in history, it almost never works. The only time it did work to some degree is like in North Korea, where it's absolute shutdown, lockdown of all media. In China, absolute shutdown, lockdown of all media. In Russia, under the Gulag and Big Brother, they did have family members ratting each other out. But long term, what's Russia's reputation of the 1950s? Their reputation is, everyone knows what they did. Everyone knows what China did. Everyone knows what North Korea did. As I read the first century church being persecuted by the Roman government, they're throwing Christians to lions. We all know they threw Christians to lions. You can't hide the truth. So our friend is always the truth, and they're not going to get away with it. They may get away with it this season or this generation, but people will always look back on these times and say, they did that. Bill Gates is doing that. Davos is doing that. They did that. They can't. Long term, the truth wins. And that's pretty amazing. So that's the good news. That's the big good news. You can rest on that. They can do whatever today, but you're not going to get away with it for long. And so long term, I'm confident in our position. It may be in the future, but I'm always bringing you guys the good news. I hope that's a fact that you guys can rest on and go, my friends were screwed over for a little bit, but it didn't work. It didn't work on me. I go to my old men friend at the Y, and they all know. They're telling me what big tech is doing. Old men, 70, 75-year-old. I have an 82-year-old friend there. They're telling me what big tech is doing to people. So that's the truth, and that's good. And thank you guys for hanging with me in exile. Thanks again for that 100,000 sub plaque. You guys just really made my day and make it just so much fun to create this entertainment. Just so you know, I see this as an art form. I'm here creating art for you guys. There's a $20 super chat from Kevin H. Thank you for that generous super chat. Would love to see your take on a Jesus Christ graphic novel. Keep up the good work, Doug. Yeah, I want to do my testimony in graphic novel form. I'd love to do that. And maybe I also want to kind of do an illustrated, the book of John, and do my commentary on the side, but it's just going to take too much time. And right now I'm paying bills with this, by the way, just so you guys know where the money goes. I make a lot of money. Sometimes $500 to $1,000 a day. It pays my bills. It puts my kids in college. Both my kids are at a Christian university. That's expensive. I have to pay for all our own insurance, anything, taxes, everything. We give a tithe to the church. We give a tithe to, not a tithe, but just a generous donation each year to crisis pregnancy centers that save people's lives. So I know for a fact that my work on YouTube, think of it, working for Babylon, has saved. I've know the moms, met the moms. It has saved lives. People are walking around just because you guys watched a funny video clip. We also donate to veterans. It's a thing that my wife is able to volunteer for because I get my income here. She can go and work for veterans. We also do this gleaning thing where we do farming, and it gives fresh produce to homeless people and to families in need. So that and Stand to Reason we fund, where we donate to Christian apologetics, getting great work out to everyone. Just so you guys know, it's not all going in my pocket. We do donate outside. It's really no one's business what we donate. That's between us and God. But I just want you guys to know that there is incredible good coming from me just screwing around. And by the way, some of you might have a problem with my mouth. I have a terrible mouth. I get out the sharp tongue on the enemy, because what they do, what liberals do, I believe is evil. So I have no problem with calling them names, making fun of them, just tearing them up as much as I can publicly by completely satirizing and mocking them with sarcasm. That's my tool set. Richard Everett, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. All right. And on that happy note, we're going to wrap this up. This has been Doug in Exile. Send this link to your friends, and thank you all for 100,000 subscribers. I can't thank you enough. I'm Doug in Exile.